The following video will provide instructions on the installation of the Firestone FullForce EPDM roofing system. If you're looking to install more roofs in your roofing season, Firestone Building Products is ready to make that a reality. Firestone is introducing the next evolution of EPDM with secure bond technology, FullForce. FullForce will provide solutions to many of your most difficult challenges. FullForce EPDM is the first adhered edge-to-edge membrane. By eliminating the need for tape and adhesives, a crew of 4 can install a roofing membrane 4.6 times faster than conventional adhered roofing systems. And FullForce can be installed at lower temperatures. These features will enable you to install more jobs in a season, allowing you to meet customer demands. FullForce EPDM membrane is odorless and has no VOCs, making it the perfect choice for occupied buildings. Our factory-applied adhesive ensures a high-quality install, and you can be assured your roof will provide long-lasting service and customer satisfaction. Let's see how easy and quick it is to install FullForce, and learn more about the system that allows you to install more roofs in a season. FullForce EPDM from Firestone Building Products is easy to use and requires fewer materials than adhered roofing systems. Approved substrates must be clean, dry, and free of foreign material, such as grease and any debris which could inhibit adhesion. This may require cleaning with a broom or blower. Install FullForce EPDM when ambient temperatures are a minimum 20 degrees Fahrenheit and rising. The edge mark for seam application is located at the tied end of the roll packaging. Unroll and position the membrane over the substrate to achieve the desired alignment and a minimum 3-inch side and end overlap. Allow the membrane to relax a minimum of 30 minutes before final positioning and adhering. An acceptable Firestone primer is required for seam and detail work. Seam tape is not installed in the FullForce EPDM membrane laps. Secure bond adhesive secures the membrane overlap, and FullForce sealant completes the waterproofing edge. All seam and flashing splices on the FullForce EPDM roofing system require FullForce sealant along the seam edge. Refer to our website for the installation of the Firestone FullForce EPDM warranted roofing system. The FullForce EPDM roofing system allows most of the standard tools and accessories of a typical Firestone EPDM installation. However, during installation, there may be conditions that require cutting the release liner without damaging the EPDM membrane. Use a tool such as a carpet cutter or letter opener to easily cut the release liner. For optimal results while applying sealant, we recommend using a battery-powered caulking gun and cut the nozzle tip a 1/4 inch at an angle. This allows consistency of flow and regulates application. FullForce membrane is packaged in 10-foot by 100-foot rolls, with 3 release liners to provide optimal flexibility during installation. Base securement is required at all walls, curbs, and any other angle change greater than 1 inch in 12-inch. For ease of application before installing FullForce EPDM membrane, determine your method of base attachment. Base attachment may be completed with Firestone's Quick Seam Reinforced Fastening Strip, or with Firestone's fasteners and 2-inch plates and a separate piece of flashing membrane. Once completed, unroll and position the membrane over the substrate to achieve the desired alignment and overlaps. Allow the membrane to relax a minimum of 30 minutes before final positioning and adhering. Position adjoining sheets of FullForce EPDM membrane in a manner that all side and in laps provide a minimum 3-inch overlap at the seam edge. Mark the bottom membrane 1 inch outside of the edge of the top membrane with a lumber crayon or similar instrument to note the minimum primer coverage area. Then fold back the edge of the top membrane. When installing a single-piece field and flashing membrane using Quick Seam RPF, measure carefully to allow enough membrane to extend across the RPF and up the wall. Then cut the membrane release liner just inside the tape portion of the RPF. Apply an acceptable Firestone primer to the bottom membrane to coat the entire seaming area using a Firestone Quick Scrubber or Quick Scrubber Plus pad and handle. Use back and forth strokes with heavy pressure along the length of the seam area until the membrane surface becomes uniform in color, with no streaks or puddles. Do not use brushes or rollers to apply primer to the lap splice areas. Allow the primer to flash off, then fold the membrane back into position at the seam and check for proper alignment. To adhere FullForce EPDM membrane in the field of the roof, carefully fold back the membrane at one end to expose the release liner. Do not fold the length of the roll in half. Starting from the center split of the exposed release liner, remove the liner on both sides of the split at a 45-degree angle out beyond the membrane edge to expose a minimum of 5 feet of the SA adhesive. To minimize trapped air, use 2 people to remove both sections of the release liner simultaneously at a 45-degree angle. Be sure to keep the liner low and parallel with the roof surface, making sure the membrane is flat, secured, and properly aligned. To initiate adhesion, use a stiff bristled broom and apply downward pressure to the broom in the installed membrane across the width of the sheet, working from the center toward the edge. Roll the installed membrane with a heavy roller to complete adhesion. Do not roll the membrane in place with a weighted roller if installed over IsoGuard HD or Resista insulation boards. Next, keeping low, parallel with the roof surface and on a 45-degree angle, remove the 4-inch seam release liner. Roll the seam with a 1.5-inch wide silicone roller, making sure there is sufficient contact between the 2 membrane layers. Align FullForce EPDM membrane into position along the roof edge. Carefully fold back the leading edge of the membrane a minimum 10 feet from one end to expose the release liner. Starting with the release liner closest to the roof edge, carefully pull the liner from the sheet, pulling it toward the field of the roof at a 45-degree angle to expose the SA adhesive. Take care not to disturb the original positioning of the membrane. Next, pull the remaining section of the release liner, or the inside portion, toward the field of the roof at a 45-degree angle. Maintain a minimum 12-inch separation between the 2 sections of liner. Pull the 4-inch strip of release liner with the adjacent section of liner. All 3 sections of the removed release liner should extend underneath the membrane, beyond the field side of the membrane edge. From there, back roll the membrane into the substrate. Use 2 people to remove the sections of release liner at the same time. Once completed, broom the membrane and roll it with a heavy roller to ensure proper adhesion. After positioning the roof membrane and marking the horizontal and vertical overlaps, apply primer to the vertical substrate and seam overlaps. Also apply primer to the back of the RPF strip, but do not prime the area where the FullForce EPDM membrane will mate with the tape on the quick seam RPF strip. Primer may be applied to vertical substrates with a roller or brush, but all EPDM seam and flashing overlaps must be primed using a Firestone scrub pad and handle. After the primer is flashed off, remove the release liner from the flashing membrane and tuck the membrane tightly into the angle change. Complete by rolling the flashing with a silicone roller. Also, remember to roll the area over the quick seam RPF strip at the base of the wall. Then remove the seam release liner and roll the seam. Here's how to flash a wall or curb with a separate piece of FullForce EPDM membrane. After installing the field membrane at the base of the wall or curb, measure and cut a single piece section of FullForce EPDM membrane to wrap around the curb or wall area. Be sure to allow for a minimum 3-inch base flashing seam overlap beyond the edge of the screw and plate at the base of the curb, and a 3-inch vertical flashing overlap. Prime the vertical substrates and seam areas and work the flashing into the substrate. Complete the curb flashing installation with Firestone's quick seam corners. Complete detail work such as inside and outside corners, pipe flashings, T-joint and transition patches, and terminations on the FullForce EPDM roofing system with standard Firestone EPDM quick seam products. Published details can be located on our website. Be sure to apply Firestone's primer to the lap and flashing edges before sealing to enhance the adhesion of the sealant. Once the primer is completely flashed off, apply a 3/8 by 1/4 inch bead of FullForce sealant to the seam or flashing edge. All seam and flashing splices on the FullForce EPDM roofing system require FullForce sealant along the seam edge. By following these easy installation steps, you will ensure your installations stay protected for years to come. With FullForce EPDM, roofing projects have never been easier and faster. Firestone Building Products has eliminated the need for seam tape and has reduced primer for field seams by half. There's no more waiting for adhesive to dry, and it's less time on your knees. FullForce EPDM is the perfect solution for any commercial roofing application. For more information on our products and services, please visit our website.